crowd.
I thought you were reading your card.
Genetically modified organisms. Many have heard the term, but few have been educated on the meanings and origins of the items slowly taking over the shelves of American supermarkets. 60 to 70% of processed foods in grocery stores are now genetically modified. Most common would be soybeans, corn, cotton, and rapeseed oil. A recent study found that only 52% of Americans knew that genetically modified organisms were in grocery stores, and only 26% believed that they had ever actually eaten genetically modified foods. As the United States is the largest producer of genetically modified crops, I think it's important to inform you of the origins of genetically modified foods, along with some of its history, and some of the different types of ways people can grow food, as well as some of the risks and benefits. Since this technology is relatively recent in its breakthrough, it's only a decade to 2 or 3 decades old. Some of the different growing methods include genetically modified, which tend to use less pesticides, as the pesticides, or the strain of seed itself, is actually pesticide resistant. This means that they can use less chemicals and spray entire fields without having to worry about damaging the crop. In conventional tactics of growing, there's usually more pesticides that are chemically manufactured along with fertilizers used, but they can also use genetically modified seeds, or they can also use organic, depending upon the farmer. In organic growing, it's generally natural from the beginning of the end of the process, as natural as can possibly be, meaning natural fertilizers and natural pesticides, no chemicals, or genetically modified seeds. After touching on the origin and history of genetically modified products and different farming methods, I will take a moment to highlight the effects of genetically modified production on environment, health, and the economy. Advocates say that genetically modified foods allow farmers to produce more with fewer chemicals, meaning a cleaner environment and cheaper groceries for us all. But the question remains, what impact do genetically modified foods have on our own health? With almost anything in life, especially those things that seem to make things easier or more convenient, there are risks and benefits. Some of the risks are the introduction of allergens and toxins to food, accidental contamination between genetically modified and non-genetically modified foods, antibiotic resistance, and adversely changing the nutrient content of the crop. Some of the benefits include increased pest and disease resistance, drought tolerance, and increased food supply. In conclusion, no matter what your dietary preference or fiscal budget, it's important to remain educated in regards to what you put in your body. Like the corridors of a labyrinth, finding scholarly details on genetically modified foods can be a dizzying and disorienting venture. I hope that in today's speech I was able to elaborate on some of these origins and provide you information to begin your journey out of the maze. Thank you.
Thank you.